Senator Serville, I think you are the other. Are there any other senators here besides you? Right now? All right, you're up.
Assume you want to do the license bill first?
That'd be good. Yeah.
Also, I know Senator Boysko has one which is similar to mine, and I don't know if you want to do them both together or hers.
I'd entertain a motion to roll Senate Bill 1641.
Hers is a tiny bit different.
I'm sorry?
Hers is a tiny bit different.
Well, that's all right. They're not that different.
Okay.
Which bill is yours, Senator?
Mine was 1740.
All right, y'all figure it out. All right. Y'all figure out which one you want to be the vehicle.
Why don't we roll hers into mine, and as long as she still gets to say a few words. Is that cool?
Then we get a motion to roll 1641 into Senator Serville 1740. Is there a motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to roll that bill into Senator Servile's bill. All those in favor, please vote aye. All right, opposed, no. All right, please close the roll.
12 ayes, 0 nays.
Okay, Senator Serville.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So,
Oh, and by the way, before we start this, we are going to limit the amount of time.
5 minutes is what the
5
chairman
minutes on
told me.
each side, yes.
Yeah. So, from my point of view, Mr. Chairman, this bill presents an opportunity for us to improve law enforcement, public safety, and increase tax revenue to Virginia without raising taxes a dime. This bill was heard, I think, first 3 years ago. The DMV put together a big study group with about 80 different stakeholders, came out with the recommended bill. That was the bill we put in last year. This bill is a tiny bit different, and it's also the identical bill is being carried by Delegate Rob Bloxham on the other side. And the change from last year is this bill says you can only prove your identity with an unexpired foreign passport. The prior bills had a bunch of different kinds of ways you could prove your identity. This one says unexpired foreign passport. That's the only way. Okay. So basically what it says is that the DMV has to issue a temporary, what we're calling a temporary driver privilege card to someone if they can show they lived in Virginia for the last 12 months, number one. Number two, they paid income taxes or have been claimed as a dependent on somebody else's tax return. Number three, they passed a driving test. And number four, the license has to state that it's, right here, not valid identification for federal voting or public benefit purposes. And so it's not compliant with Real ID. That's what this one will say. There's no fiscal impact because the fee that's set that people have to apply by will cover all the new employees at DMV that are estimated to be needed to process these folks. DMV's checked other states. Other states have told them how many people they think this should cover it. This would, I think, benefit about 400,000 Virginians living here would be able to apply for these.
Not sorry, 400,000?
That's my estimate. It would bring us up to speed. I think there's 15 other states that do this now, including D.C. and Maryland. And there's basically 6 reasons I would say you need to do this. Number one is taxes. If we could get 400,000 new people to file Virginia income tax returns, and they each claimed $35,000 a year, and they're not filing returns right now, that would result in about $1,755 a person, or about $702 million new dollars to the general fund. Secondly, if those people also would pay the auto insurance premiums tax because they have auto insurance and they're paying that, it's another couple $100 million. So this bill, I think, if we can incentivize folks to pay their taxes in Virginia instead of being paid in cash or not reporting, I think we would have a big positive impact to the general fund. That's number one. Number two, safety. The Pew Charitable Trust looked at other states where this had done, and the number of accidents was down in states that had adopted this law. The number of hit-and-run cases fell off a cliff because once people have ID, they stop and they report themselves. Actually, the hit-and-run piece is number three. Safety is number two. Number four is cooperation. When people have government ID, they're a lot more likely to cooperate with law enforcement when a criminal situation happens, whether it's domestic assault, whether it's another kind of crime, some other kind of police investigation. They're much more likely to come forward and identify themselves and feel comfortable to do that. Additionally, fifth point I'd make is by having more people in the insurance pool, more licensed drivers in the insurance pool, it'll bring down everybody's car insurance expenses because people will be paying in instead of having all these hit and run cases. People will be paying in, and it would save us all money. And the last thing I'll say is that it'll improve quality of life for these people who right now can't take their kid to the doctor or drive to work without being in fear, or they just don't go at all. So I think it's a critical bill. And as I said, it's my impression, I think 12 states nationwide have done this: Maryland, D.C., Delaware, Utah, New Mexico, Washington, California, Nevada, Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois, and Vermont. There are, I think, 13 other states considering legislation. It's not up to the federal government to decide who drives. They get to decide who stays or goes. We get to decide who drives in this state. And I think we need to pass this bill. And having said that, I'll turn it over to Senator Boysko. Sorry.
Welcome, Senator
She's been working on this a long time, too, and has a few things to say.
And try to not repeat what's already been said. It'd be great.
Correct. Yes, Mr. Chairman. I fully support rolling the two bills in. Mine is broader. It did not have the ID component that is required or the taxes required. Would allow everybody who could pass the test to obtain a driver's privilege card. What I'd like to just point out is this was really started by farmers in Virginia who were having a hard time getting their employees, their workers, to come and get to work because they had no way of getting there. This is an economic issue. It is not one of just having a big heart. It's really, I think Senator Surivel did an excellent job of explaining why we believe that this is good for the economy as well as for the people who live here, for the businesses. And I strongly support it and hope that everyone will pass the bill.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to have 5 minutes on each side, 5 minutes for those who want to speak. Now, understand that's 5 minutes total. So if one person comes up and speaks for 3 minutes, everybody else only gets the 2 that's left. Okay, so try to make your point, make it brief, and let as many people speak as possible. So, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Fabiola Picasso. I'm coming, and my husband and me, my boys, because I need driver license for go picking up my kids, emergency stuff, and then 9 in the morning, my kids is in the emergency in school. I go pick it up and I go put it in the hospital. And I'm talking about how my peoples, because there's not everybody here. But I'm talking with myself and my husband self. He want to go to work like hour and a half to wait to the home. I live in Chester, and I need your help, please. Okay. And thank you.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Ronald Arana. I represented to everybody in this community. I come from Norfolk, Virginia. We be here because we needed your support to this bill for the driver license. And everybody here, those levantes, they support to.
I'll ask
license,
everybody at the end.
okay? Yeah.
I'll get to it.
Because we didn't driving every day for the job, for the drive to the school, for the drop off my babies and pick up, or any city we going, you know.
Okay.
And hopefully, and thank you for your support.
Thank you for being here, sir. Hello. Welcome. Come on.
Good afternoon. My name is Elena Camacho. I'm here asking you to consider, please, the driver privilege. I have a personal situation that happened. My brother doesn't have a driver license. My mom works for Chesterfield County Schools. She cleans there. She started working at 4 to 12, and my brother went to pick her up, and he got stopped for a police officer just because I think security. So this situation, it brings too much frustration and fear to my family. So I really appreciate you consider this.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi, my name is Steve Yu. I'm the campaigns coordinator with NACASAC. We work with Korean and Asian Americans in the Northern Virginia area. And in our canvassing efforts last summer, we found that 73% of the Asian American voters that we spoke to at the door we're in favor of expanding driving privileges to include the undocumented community in Virginia. And as an undocumented immigrant myself, I'm here to ask you today to vote yes to this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello, my name is Carlota Arias. I'm coming from the Virginia Latina Advocacy Network. One of our activists was unable to join because she had to drive her brother to the doctor's appointment. As a DACA recipient and the daughter of undocumented immigrants, she's the only one in her family able to drive. Her younger brother has epilepsy and has to go to a medical center in Washington, D.C. When her brother first had a seizure, her parents were unable to be by his side because they do not have the legal ability to drive. No family should have to go through these obstacles to be near their children when they're sick. So a driver's privilege card is access to health care, access to education, and at times access to a better income. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello and welcome.
Hello, my name is Sarah Flores Shannon. I'm a field coordinator with the Virginia Latina Advocacy Network, and we support these pieces of legislation. I personally live 9 minutes from my office, but if I were to have to take the bus, it would take an hour. We are not a state that has a public transportation infrastructure that allows for people to easily get to their place of work. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Charlie Jackson, representing SCIU. We support these pieces of legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Ben Hoyne with the Virginia Interfaith Center. People of faith from across the Commonwealth support welcoming immigrants. Virginia welcomed my family centuries ago, as I imagine might be true for you all. And Virginia Interfaith Center supports this legislation so we can continue to welcome immigrants. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tom Antorcio, and I'm the Associate Director with the Virginia Catholic Conference, and I'm here to extend our support for this for these bills.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. You got a little bit of time.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Margie Del Castillo on behalf of the Virginia Coalition for Immigrant Rights, a group of 29 immigrant rights organizations, and we support this bill.
Thank you so much. Okay, we've heard from those who are in support of the bill, or is there anybody here to speak in opposition to the bill? Nobody? No? Okay. All right. Are there any questions of the patrons from the committee?
I got a refined stat for you, Mr. Chairman.
What is that?
You seem surprised by the 400,000 number. I was advised that it's more closer to 262,000.
Well, see, there you go. All right, thank you. Thank you for clarifying
To
that.
take all my monetary numbers and make them 60%.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you. Senator Favola.
I move that we report the bill.
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded that the bill be reported. Is there any discussion on that?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Edwards.
I've never thought it made any sense at all to say you have to be a citizen of this country to drive. A lot of people here are not citizens. They're here for different reasons. But driving is an essential part of living in this country today. Go to the doctors, as you mentioned, go to work, take your children to school, whatever it happens to be. It's absolutely essential, and I strongly support this bill.
Thank you. Are there any more comments? Senator Chase.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize. I missed the beginning of your presentation, Senator Servo, and Senator Boysko. But I have worked and talked with Senator Servo over the course of the year, and a lot of improvements have been made in this bill. I'm still not at a point where I'm comfortable supporting it completely, but we'll continue to have those conversations. And in fact, later this afternoon, a meeting with some of the stakeholders, and would invite you all to be involved in that conversation as we look forward and move forward.
Okay.
Maybe next year.
As I said I would, everyone that's here that is in support of this bill, if you're already standing, oh well. But if you would please stand, and those who are already standing, go like that. So. All right. No, that's okay. That's all right. I just asked you to stand. That's enough. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, okay, we have a motion to report. It is properly seconded. Unfortunately, I will not be supporting the bill, but anyway, I appreciate your presentation. I appreciate everybody coming and being a part of the process. So, therefore, clerk, please open the roll. The motion is to report.
Six ayes, 7 nays.
Okay, the bill fails to report. Thank you very much.